Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. Happy Sunday, and it looks like I'm gonna finally do another tournament update. I got a lot to go through, so let's just do it. Hi, welcome to Something to Talk About. My name is Taco, and if you don't know, I've been doing a 128 character, a Song of Ice and Fire character tournament on my YouTube, a poll every single day. I've been doing a 8-person tournament every week, and we just got through all the way up to our fifth. So I've done an update for week one, and I did an update for week two. And then I started working every weekend until this weekend. So I'm able to do an update for the last three. And yeah. So I'm excited to finally do this again. And, I got the daughter down to nap. So since she's napping, I can do this. So let's go. Our Kingsguard bracket, our wall bracket, and the Outlaws bracket. So, yeah, do I need a what? Yeah, for the last few weeks, I've been doing this poll. So, winners, a hypothetical fight can be chosen. I'll be doing 16 tournaments, 8 characters each, which I just said. So, we just got through fifth. And each bracket of 8 representing a region or something kind of like a region, like Outlaws aren't a region, but you know what I'm saying. The 16 regions represent the North, Mercenaries, Beyond the Wall, Outlaws, Kingsguard, Iron Islands, Westerlands, Dorne, Vale, Stormlands, Reach, Riverlands, Crownlands, Free Cities, and Slavers Bay. I believe Mercenaries is mixed with Hedge Knights. That's next week. And after all the individual brackets are done, the winners will enter a 16-character tournament until one is left. I'm calling that my playoffs tournament. So yeah, so a couple of weeks ago we went through Kingsguard, so let's just do it. So Aemon the Dragonite versus Ares Oakheart was our first one, and yeah, Aemon the Dragonite absolutely stomped. There's a lot of stomps. Finally, one of these weeks coming up, there wasn't a Stomp City bracket, but man, Kingsguard kind of was one. Durin's Godgrief said, I respect Ares, but we're talking about the Dragonite here. One of House Targaryen's best warriors on legendary Kingsguard. Yeah. Don't make them like they used to, is what JMeds94 said. I think that's just about how Ares isn't the way they used to be. So yeah, Aemon Dragonite moved on, and then you had Kristen Cole versus Mandolin Moore. Kristen Cole again, Stomp City. I don't trust the math there. 91% versus 10. It's not good math, but all right, YouTube. All right, so then Digop, 34 to 35 said, "Oh yeah, my man, the Kingmaker, hands down the best fighter in his era. He faced the best warriors Westeros had to offer, and every one of them got destroyed. It took a cheap shot from the so-called fearless and honorable Winter Wolves, spoilers, to get rid of the man. Even that they knew they had no chance. And Hawk McBride said, Cole wins, but this is a pretty cool fight to see. Jamie said that Mandon was a dangerous man, and you could never tell what he had going on. Yeah, I kind of like the characterization of Mandon more, and I was kind of surprised that he got beat so badly because he's usually considered like a decent killer. Like, dude's kind of scary, but he also got by an 11-year-old, however old Pot is. So yeah, Boros Blount versus Osmond Kettleblack. All right, it was funny. I had to put Boros in here. Yeah, all right. I probably screwed the Kingsguard up. I probably should have put some other really famous fighter. I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to get people mad here against Osmond, or I could have broken up the other one. Now everyone gave me crap about the next fight, but I didn't. Okay, I had one joke fight and then one really powerful fight, and I could have just done 2 mediocre fights, but I didn't. All right. So the only thing Boros can defeat is King Tommen's beats. Maybe he can't even defeat those. Brainy said, oh yeah, Boros got stopped from Osmond Kettleblack. Boros Bond is quite possibly, according to Kevin Nutzling. All right, Kevin Nutzling. I might be butchering that. Said he may be the least qualified knight ever to serve on the Kingsguard. He is escorting Tommen, a prince of the royal family, to Rosby and is stopped by bronze gold cloaks. He surrenders without even a fight. Even Jamie names him food taster, and Boros objects. Jamie's um, suggests they can duel over it, but Boros backs down, even though Jamie has lost his sword hand. It's so funny. Later, he gets so fat that he has to lean on a wall for support. I do think that him leaning on the wall is because he's poisoned. He is the food taster, and he looks sick in like his last chapter, and no one says anything about it. I'm just saying he's probably being poisoned. Okay, no one brings that up. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Yeah, he has to lean against the wall for support during long guard postings. Although it would be fair if he's under a lot of stress, as subjected to Cersei and the face madness constantly by that point. Yeah, that's true. The Kettle Black brothers weren't anything exceptional. Seems more like thugs, but at least they were decent at fighting. Yeah, no one ever really says the Kettle Blacks are bad at fighting. They're not really knights. They're kind of, like you said, they're kind of thugs. I love the Kettle Blacks. I've covered all of them. All right, so into the semifinals, we had Eamon the Dragon Knight versus Kristen Cole. Another stomp. Like I said, this was kind of Stomp City. Oh, did I skip one? I skipped one. Yeah, of course. Zoro the Dame versus Barristan Sami. Okay, I should have not done it together. I got a lot of comments that I think I just found one where I said, dang, round one, talk about early round clash. These guys should be the finals. I kept that in to represent all of the comments I got like that. I wanted Arthur to lose. I'm kidding. I wanted to give these guys a really hard challenge because they were going to have to fight to get out of this bracket anyways. They both belong in Kingsguard Bracket anyways. And I didn't see any harm in doing it right away. I thought it would be fun to do it round one. Now that I thought about it, maybe I should have put one of those guys against Osmond Kettle Black and then not use Boros Blount at all, and then maybe brought in another famous Kingsguard. But I didn't. That's what I did, though. I did this instead. Barristan was a member of the Kingsguard. Well, Arthur was. He's pretty much... he was much younger then, and still the realm unequivocally said that Arthur was the best. Enough said. Yeah, I mean, just because the realm says that somebody's better, that doesn't mean that they can't, the better knight can still get killed by the less good fighter if the less good fighter just does it right? Like you can punch above your weight class, take down above your weight class. We've seen it in the books, and we've seen it in real life, but whatever. Isaac Piez said that. But they're not wrong. That is what the realm said. And then JDS 4800 said the thing about round one. Yeah, round one. Hawk McBride said with normal weaponry, I would give it to Barristan, but due to the experience. But Arthur wielding Dawn puts him ahead, as George Martin said himself. Yeah, special magic swords. And then, oh man, what do you got here? Coranti Rivers. No way I did that right. The Sword of the Morning would be an epic fight, though. Yeah, a lot of people had Arthur. It's all right. He's moving on. I can't believe that this was a stomp, though. Aemon Targaryen stomping Christmas Cole. I was actually pretty surprised. Hawk McBride, who I got a lot in here. Kristen puts up a better fight than some would think, but Aemon is still a legend. No! Yeah, see? Digop agrees with me. How is my man Kristen being disrespected like that? I guess there's a certain bias in favor of a character whose last name is Targaryen or Dane. I respect Aemon, but I don't recall him defeating anyone of renowned skill. He fought Cregan, but it was also past his prime. Mayhaps Kristen had a Valyrian Morningstar, it would have been different. In my humble opinion, Kristen defeated previous Dark Sister wielder and would have done it again. Still, congrats, Damon, to making it to the finals. Yeah, I mean, Kristen, I think I voted for him. Is Kristen Cole, I think a lot of people kind of only think of how he is in the show, but he takes down Harlan Straw in the book. He just straight up kills Waynor's lover in the show during a melee fight. Like, it isn't just straight up beating him up, but it's actually in a melee, and he just beats the crap out of him to the fact of killing him like in the middle of the tourney, right? Yeah, and then he beats Daemon Targaryen too. Like, these are maybe not so much is it Joffrey Longmouth? Not so much Joffrey Longmouth, but definitely Harwin Strong and Daemon Targaryen are really good fighters. I mean, they're both in this tournament for a reason, right? I mean, Boris Bout is in this tournament, so maybe that doesn't mean anything. Oh, but yeah, still, I think 93-7 is a bit of a too much of a stomp. Speaking of stomps, everyone saw this stomp coming. That's fine. It's funny when these landslide brackets come up. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Grant Campbell. According to Cersei, Roman Yahweh says Osmond is thrice as swordsman as Loras Tyrell is. Osmond probably wins. That was a joke. Somebody goes, yeah, Cersei, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, bro, it was sarcastic. That was a comment underneath. And then Rodney Jackson said Arthur slays him with his left hand while taking a piss with his right. Probably, yeah, probably. Aemon versus Arthur. I'm glad that this was a little close. I'm glad. But Arthur still moved on, and I really didn't want Arthur to win. All right, now I'm gonna just say it for real. I'm not mad that he won or anything like that, but he won my last bracket I did last year, and there was only like 64, I think, in that. But or maybe it was even less than that. But still, like, I really didn't want him to win again. And now he's into the playoffs and he's off to the races. Yeah. All right. As you, man, you, Digob said you could do an Aemon. Been rooting for me from the very, very beginning. Yeah, it didn't work out though. Meister, oh man, S word. The duel I've been waiting for: Dark Sister versus Dawn. Dane versus a Targaryen. This would easily be the duel of ages, and it would be talked about for centuries later. Two of my favorite Kingsguard members, but I gotta go with Aemon because he has more feats. Are people who bring up feats called feats fetishes? I'm kidding. It's funny. Yeah, I kind of want to Aemon the win, but he moved on. All right, okay, he moved on. So he goes on to fight the winner of this one, which some people may say is the same character. Okay, so now we got the Wall, which is Jon Snow, Alistair Thorne, Benjamin Stark versus Almer of Kingswood, Corn Halfhand versus Donald Noy, and Gren versus Yoren. Jumping right into it because we don't have all day. Jon beat Alistair Thorne, which, yeah, Jon got the best armor of all, plot armor. A lot of people were mad about this one, but he still won. It said, okay, Chad has to read the books. A 50-year-old Jon Snow is not beating a battle-tested Grandpa Thorne. In a real fight, Thorne wins. A lot of people were like, no, like Jon in the books isn't that great of a fighter. But he won anyways. Plot armor, the best armor. Benjamin Stark versus Almer of Kingswood. I'm glad this wasn't as like that. Okay, that wasn't as much of a stomp. All right, the stomps are a lot less in this bracket. I'm happy that Almer got what he got. Almer, so Irish Potato Thief said Almer has my vote because he helped Brand Merritt phrase boot. Chables, the Elgarmancist, he's a practitioner of Elgarmancy. You certainly don't become first ranger without being a very competent fighter, but it still only says so much. Yeah, but I mean, you could say, hey, you don't become first ranger without being a great fighter. Almer of the Kingswood is old. He's old and in a profession that you don't get old in, and he's survived a lot. So following that same logic, but even longer, yeah. So Almer is no pushover, even though he's an old man. He survived the fight at the Fist and Craster's and made it back. He is tough, but no first ranger but to be first ranger has to mean something, I would think. This Uncle Ben survives. I think that Almer would never become first ranger because they kind of really make a big point of giving like people highborn rangers, right? Like next is Jeremy Riker, who has a name, and then Thorne and Smallwood, who has a name. It isn't until like Jon comes along until he's like, screw it, we'll give it the leathers. I think he tries to give it the leathers and gets people mad. But like Almer of Kingswood isn't ever going to get it because he's just Almer. He's not Almer Dondarrion or whatever, right? He's just of the Kingswood. But yeah, he is very awesome, and I'm happy he got as much of the vote as he did because he has a lot going against him. Everyone's gonna, of course, vote Benjamin because he has a name and he's a Stark and he's a First Ranger and stuff. And Ulmer was just part of the Kingswood Brotherhood, but I do love Ulmer. I did a video for him for a reason. Cornab versus Donald Noy. I wish this was less of a stomp because I actually, when I put this together, I thought this was a really, really good fight because Donald took down a freaking giant. All right, so Hawk McBride said Donald's a legend. I mean, he got the killing blow on Meg the Mighty. See, this is what I just said. But Korn is a master swordsman and could quite take this. Anthony Jost said it's so hard not to vote for Donald. I love the man, an absolute badass. But yeah, realistically, Korn takes this 9.9 out of 10 times. I guess he won 9 to 10. He won 90 to 10%, but or 9 to 1, I should have said. But like I love Donald Noy. I knew that I'm not taking Corrin down in the first round. I'm not, and I'm probably not taking him down throughout this whole bracket. So I thought Donald Noy was like that also handicapped guy, but just a complete badass. It didn't work out. I tried though. I tried. Gren versus Yoren. I thought this was really fun, and I was actually surprised that Yoren took this so handily. Gren is a certified survivor. Argos X Bick said. I agree with Argos because yeah, I mean he survived a lot, right? It's freaking Gren. Brody Day said I was curious how this one would go. I feel like it's close. Then credit is giving. Yeah, for sure. Gren keeps getting bigger and bigger by the books go, and he's also getting better. I want everyone then like it's brought up how Gren is becoming one of the better fighters. You know, it's not easy to decide. To be honest, Yoren is more experienced and skilled, but older and weaker, and Gren is stronger and faster, I guess. And to give it to Yoren because he is a seasoned warrior and knows how to kill. I believe they were trying to say hot to kill sounds cool too. But Gren has survived so much. The fist, just like Yoren, he survived not Yoren, sorry, Ulmer, he survived the fight at the fist, survived the battle on the wall, and he survived Craster's Keep. I think he totally Yoren's definitely a legend, so I'm no arguments against Yoren winning, but I thought Gren was going to do a little better. All right, let's move on to round 2 of the semifinals here. So you had Stark versus Snow, so Jon Snow versus Benjen Stark. I was pleasantly surprised. I did not see this. I thought Jon was going to make his way all the way to the finals because of plot armor, but no, man. Benjen, who we haven't even seen fight, wins. The First Ranger against a 15-year-old boy without Jon Snow's plot armor. Jon's dead. Said Roman Yakave. I'm sorry. I should learn names before I do this. Lord Terran of Ice and Fire, Benjen Stark. It would have to be Uncle. He has oh my god. He has had more training, more experience. When Jon first comes to the wall, he is more or less a bully that's being bullied. Yeah, that's what he gets. And then Ghost Dog. The main reason I think Snow is the Valyrian steel sword versus soft Night's Watch armor, not plate steel. Yeah, they don't really wear plate, I don't think. But Benjen's Castleford steel versus Jon Snow's plot armor, advantage Snow. Yeah, but he didn't win. What was it? 67 to 33. Yeah, definitely not a stomp, and I'm proud of Benjen making it to the finals. All right, Corrin versus Yoren. This was definitely a stomp. Shane said the half hand is definitely the best fighter in the wall bracket. Yeah, probably. And then a random guy said Yoren is cool and all, but against the Kingsguard. Okay, I'm not sure which Kingsguard, but there's all the fan theories that he's either Mance or maybe he's Gerald Hightower or all these things, which is really great because if he wins a bracket, which you're about to find out if he did or not, he does. That means that he's fighting against Mance. So there are people who think Corrin is Mance, and that's who they fight in the first round of the playoffs. I'm very happy about that. Benjen versus Corrin, half hand. Benjen Stark put up a fight, I think, 30 to 70. By the way, I had somebody at my work who was betting on these, or not betting, but he's like, And he went up and he's like, dude, it's gonna be Benjamin, man, landslide. I put $5 on it. He hasn't paid up yet, but but I won. Can I bet on my own things? Probably not. Is that insider trading? He hasn't paid me. Don't put me in jail. Okay. Irish potato thief says loses half his sword. Wildlings, haha, finally. Even gets better at fighting. Wildlings, no. Yeah, I love corn half hand. The fact he's better like than everybody else with half a hand. Uh, and then Kevin, man, what did I go with? Kevin Nuitzling. It's been said that though Benjamin was first ranger, Corn is probably their most well regarded. I think Corn wins this. Well, there you go, he did. And then Vincent Pedro Jr., Corin, as they say, beware of an old man in a profession where men usually die young. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you become an old man in a profession like that, you must be pretty good. That's what I was saying about Armor Kingswood. All right, now for our last one. Sorry if this is getting a little long. We finally have the Outlaw Bracket that was this week. So I do think that all these haven't changed because they have less time to cook than the others, especially the finals of this one because it was the day I'm filming this. But it is a big enough gap that I don't think it's going to change. So I did wait until like right before I was filming before I actually took the screenshot of the poll. So if this does change, this video doesn't mean anything. Like if the winner of this week changes like eventually, then that's how it goes, right? I'm gonna go with that before I actually choose the playoffs. It's not really the cutoff point, just a cutoff point for these videos. But if somehow it flips before I do the playoffs, I don't see it happening though. Roar versus Lemon Cloak. The fake hounds fighting each other. Yeah, because they both wore hound armor. It's great. I already showed the bracket, right? Yeah. That's my Outlaws bracket. It was basically Brotherhood Without Banners, Kingswood Brotherhood, and Brave Companions. And heck yeah. So first one, yeah, we got the fake hounds fighting each other. Chables, the necromancer said, or necromancer, Algormancer said. All right, and then Anthony Joss said, hard one, Lem is a knight and therefore probably royal train. Rorge is a freak of nature and savage. Damn, I'm not sure, but I think Lem would win most of the time because he's probably more technical and it is important when you fight with blades. Okay, for one 73 to 27, that's actually pretty close. Oh, no, that's actually a pretty big stomp in my eyes because I think Rorge should have won this, but he didn't. I think Rorge definitely should have beat Lemon Cloak. I did comment on this person's thing. Like, I wouldn't go so far to say that Lem is castle trained or a trained knight. He's only a knight because he's a knight of Hollow Hill. Unless you think that he is whatever Lawnmouth. Unless you think that he is one of Rhaegar's squires, which I believe I use. Somebody brings that up later, but it's a Lawnmouth. I can't remember which one. But anyways, sorry, I can't always pull the entire lore off the cuff. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, he's, as far as we know, unless he's actually somebody else, most of the knights of the Brotherhood Without Banners are knighted by Beric in the Hollow Hill. They're called Knights of the Hollow Hill. They're just knighted by Beric. They're not actually trained by men-at-arms and things like that. So unless he ends up being somebody else, and he's not just like a dude with a lemon cloak, then I don't think he was, like, if only he ends up being somebody else, does it mean that he was, like, trained, castle knight? All right, you guys know what I'm saying. I did comment that, but of course clear because I just ate all my words for some reason. But but yeah, still Lem won. I think Roar should have, but I don't get to choose. I don't get to choose. Arthur Dane would have lost. All right, Thor's Amir versus Simon Toyin. I'm not I don't like to cheer for the overdogs. I'm not cheering for Arthur Dane. I don't cheer for Patriots or Yankees either. Sir Bobbert Ross, fantastic name, originally said that Simon Toyin Originally, I said Simon Toyne, but I forgot that Thoros is genuinely a good turning knight. Plus, he survived the storming of Pike and fighting at the Mummer's Fort. Yeah, absolutely. People need to remember, and I feel like they did because he won over Simon Toyne of the Kingswood Brotherhood. Thoros of Mir is actually legit. Like he wins multiple melees, and it might be because people are afraid of the flaming sword, but still, he's probably gonna have a flaming sword in this fight, right? And also, he's the first to the wall at Pike. Like he storms, just jumps into a bunch of people and somehow survives. And he wins a bunch of melees. He ain't no jouster either. Like Thoros of Mir is actually a bit of a brawler, you know? And I'm glad that he actually beat Simon Toyne, although that's kind of rough. Simon Toyne is the leader of the Kingswood Brotherhood, and what was I going to say? Got beat by Barristan Selmy, and Barristan Selmy considers it one of his like best fights. So yeah, and then Thoros of the party, Thoros of party, love it. Lord Terran of Ice and Fire said that, and then Anthony Jost again said that Thoros actually has some feats. But my gut says Toyne. Well, your gut was different. Your gut was only 25% what everyone else was thinking. Is that how math works? I don't know. I think Thoros, but yeah, that's where it went. So Shagwell versus Biter. I think Shag very well by reputation. I think Shag got stomped here. I thought he was gonna do a lot better, but nope, didn't work out. Biter almost killed Brienne, who 1v3'd Shagwell, so the other person in here, Timian, and I forgot the other name. I want to call him Pig. It is Pig, but it's Pyg. With a little help from Pod. Yeah, not a lot of help from Pod. And he would have killed her if it was not for Gendry. Yeah, Biter's hardcore. I actually thought Biter was going to win this whole bracket. Because Biter's he doesn't fight, right? He's not holding a shield and sword and just, that's not him. He's a massive monster giant, and then just runs, tackles you, and puts his entire weight on you and crushes you, and then starts to eat you. You can't really fight against that. Like you got to be pretty good. Both are mad savage, but let's be honest, Biter will make Shagwell his B word. Maybe Shagwell can get one hit in with his Morningstar. By the way, he has a 3-balled ball and chain, Shagwell does, which is like super brutal. But Biter. When Biter closes the distance, but if that's not insanely deadly, it is. Biter rips him apart. If it's not instantly deadly, it might not be instantly deadly. Like a 3-ball and chain is brutal, but I mean, maybe Biter can take one hit and then he just breaks Shagwell in half. Yeah. So Biter moves on there. And then we had Smiling Knight versus Beric Dondarrion. This is also a really close one, which I enjoy and I agree. So Smiling Knight was again part of the Kingsguard Brotherhood, but he was also considered the best fighter there, and he ended up losing against Arthur Dane. I'm definitely putting the guy who managed to duel Arthur Dane. So this is Kevin Nuetzling again. God, I'm sorry. I'm just butchering the name left or right. I used you a lot, though. I used a lot of these guys a lot. A lot of really good comments. The guy who managed to duel Arthur Dane while wielding Don long enough for his own sword to break, and a bit longer with the second sword, and over a guy whose main story point is dying a bunch of times. Yeah, that's Beric's kind of thing, is he dies a lot. And that's why I kept all these comments are great. I mean, Beric went up against the Hound and the Mountain and died twice. He actually died twice just against the Mountain, and pretty easily. Dudes playing on max difficulty with a checkpoint hack. I loved that comment so much because that's so what's going on. Beric is playing on max difficulty with a checkpoint hack. That's his life. Love it. Smiling Knight wins this. No telling if Beric comes back, though split in half or something, but it is a flesh wound, though. Hey, even if he cuts him in half and he somehow survives, which I'm not going to allow resurrection, by the way, I thought that Beric had a good chance with or without the resurrection because he still has a flaming sword. But I don't know. I guess I was wrong on that. And then Long Search said, or Long Large arc. All right, large arc. Said Barrick died 7 times. Not exactly a mark of an amazing night. And if he keeps dying all the time, yeah, you're right. And I knew Barrick wasn't going to go far because I've done this tournament before, and a lot of people just like Barrick dies right away because Barrick dies a lot. But he's still a really good fighter with a flaming sword. I don't think just because he's known to die that he's going to die against every opponent. But he would probably die against Smiling Knight. So yeah. All right. Now we're into the semifinals, or as I called it this time, round 2. That's funny. Lem Argo said Lem got drip, but that's about it. True, love it. Irish Potato Thief again. Wasn't it implied that Lem was a squire of a certain harp playing lad with seasonal depression? Not really too relevant, other than dude may have had levels of legit training. It's not implied, okay? It's not implied that he's why am I not remembering Alon Mouth? I can't remember the guy's first name. It's killing me. It's not implied. Okay, people think it because like what the Ghost of High Heart calls him like the Night of Kisses or Kiss Me for a song, or like she gives a tiny hint. It's hinted. It's not implied. It's lightly hinted. And then I even said that in a comment, and they're like, "Yeah, I know. I'm doing a thing." So okay, cool. There was like a weird Targaryen, anti-Targaryen fight going on in my comments that I was kind of letting just fight. And yeah, it's pretty funny. So yeah, so Lem drops the Thoros. Thoros keeps going. So then finally we got our second semifinals here. This time I actually did call it semifinals. We had Biter completely being stomped by Smiling Knight. This I disagree with. I disagree with it. I can't believe it. I thought Biter like at least was gonna put up a real fight. Like I'm okay with Smiling Knight winning, but like I thought that Biter was gonna at least get 10%, like 8 to 29 or 92. Wow. Okay. Ter Travaris Wilson said the Smiling Knight was more than just a pretty face. Was he a pretty face? And then Lie 232-150, Biter was able to maul Brienne and wouldn't fight fair. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying he would just run up on the Smiling Knight, tackle him, and then eat him. So, then he said, but the Smiling Knight was able to hold his own against Arthur Dane, and even Jamie said that he was the quote mountain of his childhood, meaning he was a big guy. There was kind of a discussion after that in my comments where somebody was like, no, it wasn't. Maybe Jamie said that Smiling Knight was a mountain of his childhood, not because he was a big guy, but maybe because he was a really good fighter, or a lot of people wanted to kill him, or something like that. Like, oh, because he was a jerk. But either way, the mountain of your day just does sound like implying that he's big. And they do say that he's like madness and chivalry all rolled into one, so he's crazy. I love the Smiling Knight. He's like the Joker with a sword. But I still think Biter would have put up a better fight than that. All right. And then I like squishers don't die easy. So it wasn't until recently, until I did a Rorge and Biter video, till I found out that there's a straight up fan theory that Biter is a squisher. And then after I read the evidence, I'm like, huh, maybe. There's a lot of. He's fish belly white. He's super giant. He eats people. Maybe he is a squisher. We don't really know where he comes from. All right, so the finals. So this was today. There was only a couple comments, but it was like Lauren saying first to take the black. By the way, thank you for that comment. But like, you know, it doesn't add to the discussion, so I didn't have it here. I'll still bring it up because I love that I get a comment from you almost every single video. But yeah, there was no real discussion yet or anyone making any points. So I said none really yet. So as of now, and with this sizable lead, so this might change, but I don't see it happening. 5 hours after I posted it, because I did post it today, 195 votes put Smiling Knight 76 over Thoros 24. So, hey man, looks like Smiling Knight's moving on. So, yeah, let me grab something really quick. It will not take me long, right? I don't know if you guys know this, but I finally upgraded and I have a mouse. Isn't that crazy? I never had a mouse before. That's some newfangled technology. I'll explain it in a different video. But I used to just like use everything on my laptop, and now I have a mouse. You're not impressed, but you should be. All right. There you go. So the playoffs bracket. So this is everything. So North will be Great John against the Behind the Wall, which is Mance. So Great John Mance will be the first fight of the playoffs. And then Kingsguard versus a Wall. So that's going to be um Arthur Dane versus Corn Halfhand. I can't believe I couldn't remember that. And then finally, the Outlaw Bracket will be Smiling Knight. So our winners right now are Great John, Mance, Arthur Dane, Corn Halfhand, and Smiling Knight. That's a stack there. It does look like Arthur Dane is definitely going to be the favorite going out of that side, but I mean, he's got people to go through, and according to theories, he might either be Mance or Corin, so he has to fight himself, maybe. And then Smiling Knight and Great John are just there to get drunk. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this long video. I'm going to try not to do 3 of these in a row again, but it was either me doing this or me stop doing them. And I don't know. I had a couple minutes, so I tossed it together for you guys. So keep on voting. What do you think of the tournament so far? What do you think of the winners so far? And hey, man, thank you guys for watching. Click like, subscribe, and I'm glad the tournament's doing as good as it is. And I thank every one of my commenters that I use and all the ones I didn't use. Please keep the conversation going. It's really cool. So that's all I got. Peace.